Good morning, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Did the frantic child sign cards thing this morning as we were trying to get out the door for class. But I am excited today to welcome Vanessa to our meeting. She is the member outreach. You have a really fun title. It's like extraordinaire or guru or something for Lyrasis. And she is actually up in our neck of the woods. So even though her territory is literally everything west of the Mississippi, she is a local, and she is going to share with us today what Lyrasis membership could do for Washington community colleges, and some of the programs and stuff that they have that are specific to community colleges. And yeah, so I'm going to let her take it away, and I will sit back and take my notes.
Thanks, Carly, and hi, everyone. Thank you for making the time to have a chat today. My name is Vanessa, as Carly mentioned, and yeah, I'm based in Seattle, so I think, and actually North Seattle, so I'm really more like kind of practically your neighbor, Julie, in Edmonds College. So yeah, and I used to be a librarian. I was a subject librarian and then also a collections librarian before going over onto the other side of things. So I've kind of been on both sides of that negotiation table, and I always try to make sure that I'm maximizing everyone's budget because I literally know what it's like to have to make those difficult decisions. So I thought today I would tell you a little bit about what Lyrasis is, just because we are really big, but not on the West Coast. As Carly alluded, my territory, yeah, is everything west of the Mississippi, and it only comprises of like 1/10 of all of our membership, which is like more than half the country. So just giving you maybe a little bit of background, and I've tried to make it community college specific, so I'm not just going over like everything. I think the group is small enough, so if you have questions, just feel free to just shout out. And I have a short PowerPoint. Promise it's short. It's not death by PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen? I think it's.
Yes, we can see PowerPoint as well as the file. Yep. Okay. Now we're seeing PowerPoint in a browser.
Cool. It also says Zoom quit unexpectedly. Let's see if we can just keep going.
Yeah, since we definitely still see you and hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, now we don't. We will give her. Oh, you're back. It did stop.
Okay.
Weird.
All right, let's see. We'll try it one more time. I feel like you have to really, Zoom makes you earn it. You have to really want to share. Okay.
There. Beautiful.
All right, here we go. We have over 1,000 members at Lyrasis. About 100 of them are in my territory. And let's see, are you seeing a pinwheel?
We are seeing the John Wilkin CEO and the global organization membership. Oh, and she's gone again.
It's going to be a really interesting video for, we'll have to like edit it all together.
I don't do that much work.
Nah, we'll get the gist. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen still?
Nope.
Okay, we'll start. Start fresh. Come on, Zoom, you can do it. Okie dokie. Say a little prayer to the Zoom gods. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? No. I'm gonna log on a different laptop. Hold on.
Okay, I will pause.
Frost. Okay. Here we go. So, as I was mentioning, we've got over 1,000 members, mostly in the East Coast and Midwest, but we're actually growing pretty quickly on the West Coast. And so traditionally, we started out as a consortia. It was Palanet, Solanet, and so a bunch of consortia kind of banded together. It was like a consortia of consortia. And so we do offer traditional, vendor discounts, that sort of thing. But we also, because of our size, we're also able to work kind of and scale on a national level for like cool projects like open access, publishing, and open source technology. So things like archive space, we house DSpace if you guys do any institutional repositories, and collection space, which is really mostly for museums and galleries. So we're not really trying to compete with like Orbis Cascade or Scalc or anything like that. We're really trying to like complement and kind of fill maybe gaps where there's just not, they just maybe don't have the bandwidth to offer other services that we can. So it's definitely not an either or when it comes to working with us and other consortia. Just so you know, we have a pretty collaborative approach, I would say. So just if you're considering that you already work with another consortia, there's always room for one more. So and what I'm going to do is maybe I'll tell you what you would get as a member with Lyrasis, but also what we provide for everyone. So we kind of want to just make sure that we're serving the community at large. So we've got listservs, forums. A lot of our trainings are actually free. We do have a paid service as well for professional development and training, but I'll talk a little bit about that later. So you can see that we actually do quite a lot in terms of services. So everything from consulting to technical services, e-resource negotiation. We do some grant giving and as well as events. So I'm going to just touch on what I think would be useful for y'all. So I think for community colleges, we have this kind of focuses on e-resources. And so we've got like streaming video, Alexander Street Press. I know you spoke to Nicole already from Canopy, but we just signed a deal with Canopy for their base subscription. And also we've got a really great evidence-based model with Project Muse for almost 60,000 ebooks for community colleges. It's only like $1,000 a year, which I think is one of the best EBA deals out there at the moment. In terms of grant giving, we do have something called the Catalyst Fund, which is for our members. And it's basically designed to fund any kind of project that would support libraries, archives, galleries in general. So if you have an idea for a project and you would like to have it funded, we really encourage everyone to submit their idea, not only because the odds are pretty good. I think we had 30 applications last year, and we give out like 5 or 6 awards every year. So your chances are like 1 in 5. But it's a really great way to help the community, but also help your own library. So to give you an idea about maybe some of the projects that we've funded in the past, I think last year in West Virginia, the library made like an open math curriculum. So they made it available for everyone. In Louisiana, they did like a trans oral history project, which was funded by us. Recently, I think Columbia had a huge like copyright, kind of internal knowledge of copyright. And so they wanted to create these interactive videos on copyright law. And so we funded that. And now those videos are available to everyone who wants to know about copyright. So, and I would say the average award is around $30,000. So it's not huge, but it's not nothing either. So often these projects can also be scaled later. You can kind of give proof of life that it can actually, that can work. So the applications open in January. So now now is a good time to send in any kind of ideas you have. If you, this is a member only benefit, by the way. And in terms of professional development, we have something called Lyrasis Learning. It's basically a subscription product where all of your library staff have access to all of our training videos. So it's one price for everyone. So there's no it's great in terms of like equity, so everyone has access. It's kind of, you know, self-paced, so people can do it when they have time. And the classes are really great. We have new ones that are live coming on every week, and then you have access to the recorded ones after they have been recorded. So I think we have over 350 classes. And in terms of what we provide, there's like content metadata, preservation, leadership and management, and they're all library focused. I think I was talking to someone in Texas and they had kind of like a theme for professional development this year, which was emotional intelligence. And we have a bunch of classes on that. So they were really interested in that. We've got, I think in April, there's a class called Allyship in Cataloging. So there's something really for everyone. And especially, I think, I was talking to someone in Idaho where they were saying more and more of their staff actually don't have professional library certifications. And so this is really a great way to fill gaps if you have new staff and kind of get everybody caught up into the same level, really. So I'm happy to give anyone a trial if you're interested. But also a lot of our classes are free. So for example, the copyright law classes that I was talking about, those are available for everyone. We have free ones all the time, and you can actually like filter and buy free. So you can just see what we have available. So you don't necessarily have to subscribe to benefit from our trainings. But you can subscribe. You don't have to be a member. But of course, if you are a Lyrasis member, then you do pay a lot less. So that's how we try to make it available for everyone, but then also give a benefit to our members as well. In terms of consulting, we offer, if you're doing any kind of like space reviews or disaster planning, we have really great consultants, and you do get quite a significant discount if you're a member of Lyrasis, but you don't have to be a member to use our consulting services either. In terms of our technical services, I mentioned before, we have archive space, DSpace, collection space, but I'm not sure. I don't think those are maybe as relevant to you as maybe the bigger research institutions, but correct me if I'm wrong. And then in terms of digitization, if you have any kind of digitization projects, we offer discounts for outsourcing. And also if you're doing any kind of hardware purchases, it definitely becomes useful to be a member just for those discounts alone. And we offer kind of a curated list of vendors just that is actually just useful to know if you do have digitization projects, because they are really reputable and really good if you're just starting out from scratch and looking for vendors in general. And lastly, the Palace project is, I just wanted to put this on your radar. It's actually mainly used by our public library members. It's basically an ebook app that was developed by the New York Public Library called Simply E, and we just took it forward and really kind of made it nice and shiny and bright. But it's basically an app where the library can kind of owns that borrowing relationship instead of the vendor. So instead of having to use Overdrive app, Libby, or Amazon Kindle, the library can use Palace Project and just have one app instead of a bunch of different ones. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is we should be rolling this out to our academic libraries, I would say, in the next year or so. So just something to keep in mind. In terms of data protection, we're not collating any kind of information on users the way, for example, Amazon is. And so it's a nice product that was developed by libraries for libraries. And the marketplace that we have that you can also purchase content from, gives really generous licenses. And we always try to make sure that there's like multiple concurrent access. There's no like single user. So that's just maybe something to keep in mind in the next year or so. So that is kind of Lyrasis in a nutshell. Are there any questions for me? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. I know it's a lot.
You mentioned something about an ebook collection that was about $1,000 a year. Could you talk a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good question, Laura. Yes, that is our it's our Project Muse evidence-based acquisition package. And so it includes all of their ebooks. I think it's like 56,000 or 58,000. I'll have to double check. They have priced it based on tiers, but literally all community colleges are in tier 1, which is $1,000. So not to do a bait and switch, but I think the deadline has closed for this year to join, but I believe it will be opening up in like the next few months for the next financial year. So and I don't expect the pricing to change at all. If I would expect it to change, to stay the same, flat. But of course it could change a little bit as a caveat. But yeah, I'm happy to send more information to you if that would be interesting. Because yeah, I would say out of kind of all the evidence-based offers on the market, I would say it's a really good one. I used to work at an ebook company, and this is like unheard of. So I would definitely take advantage of that.
If you could send a title list perhaps to Carly,
Yeah.
maybe she could share it with the notes, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. I will do that.
Thank you.
No
Thank you
problem.
very much.
Yeah. Good question.
Vanessa, on the Palace project that is the rollout for next year, what does the catalog look like on that as far as availability to purchase ebooks? You were saying, in terms of Overdrive or that kind of thing, and having the app function, where are you purchasing your books from at that point?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can purchase from the Palace Marketplace if you want to, but you can also just put all of your content onto Palace anyway that you've already purchased from the vendors that we are partnering with. So I can send you a list of those too. It's the big 5 for public libraries, Hachette, Amazon, HarperCollins, all the big boys there. And then I think we're doing a pilot with ProQuest, but don't quote me on that, with Columbia University, so that they're kind of beta testing it for the academic side of things. So I'll get a proper list for you and send that over to Carly too.
So would that also include, so if you're partnering, let's say with Amazon, I'm assuming if you buy ebooks on Amazon, you'd be able to have them host them on that platform. Would that also include audiobooks?
It does include audio, yeah. Yeah, good.
Awesome,
good
thank you.
question. Yeah, I know, it's really exciting. It's a nice alternative, and the app is really intuitive and easy to use. So we've had libraries who are like diehard Libby supporters, and they are like pleasantly surprised at how nice it is to use. You think like, you think it's going to be like clunky if it was like, just kind of cobbled together, but it was not. It's very thoughtful, and we got a huge grant from the Knight Foundation, and we've been working with DPLA to make sure that it's just really seamless and easy. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
So is it only an app, or does it also have an online browser-based functionality?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like it's just an app, but I will double check because no one's ever asked me that.
I guess I'm thinking just in terms of the books that we get, let's say you do partner with ProQuest, we do the ProQuest College Complete ebook collection,
Mhm.
where you can look at it on a PDF or whatever, but you can also browse in online.
Mhm.
And then also indexing would be another question that I would have in terms of searchability, and at what level are they indexing that searchability?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I'll get a little more information on that because, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know. I only know enough information to like get myself in trouble. So
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's mostly just, I know that those are questions that are come up from when students are researching, right? They're not necessarily going to be reading the whole book. And so how easy is it for them to go and find the information or the chapter or that kind of thing that they're looking for, as opposed to reading the whole book like you would a novel?
yeah. So like if it's full text indexed, or if it's just like the abstract and information. Okay. Yeah. I'll do a deep dive and get back to you. Do you guys go to the Washington Library Association conference, the one that's going to be in Wenatchee this year? Or would you say that's mainly public libraries?
I've wanted to go myself, but we're very limited on PD funds, and so we really have to kind of target exactly what professional developments and conferences we go to,
Yeah,
at least on my campus.
that makes sense.
Well, and the other thing is the state level one, that one in Wenatchee, they don't ignore the academic, but because Washington and Oregon partner on the academic ACRL stuff, and there is a conference for that as
Mhm.
well, which is going to be in Washington this year, next year, whichever the next one is. It's every 2 years, and we trade off hosting. That is the one that does tend to pull more academics. I mean, like the
Yeah.
WLA annual conference is a lot of programming and like readers advisory and
Yeah, got it.
not exactly the flavor of academic. Still fun though.
Yeah. I would like to go, but I think it might have to be next year. But oh, good to know, Adrian. WLA does have an academic division.
Yeah, wasn't it like claws or clams? And now it's like WLAALDACRLWA.
Why would you change it from clams? That's like classic.
Yeah.
Classic PNW seafood.
Yeah. So we have a few institutions who have been getting content through Lyrasis. And I think we've communicated with all of them so far. Well, they weren't getting it through Lyrasis. They were technically getting it through Waldo, and now they're getting it
Mhm.
through Lyrasis.
Yeah.
Is that Whatcom is one of them.
Mhm.
And so that that relationship is going to stay the same until this July, correct? And then to continue getting that content, they will have to be members of Lyrasis to get the
That's correct.
discount.
Yeah, that's correct. Mhm. And I can provide pricing. It's basically like if you're a small institution, it's like $450 or $465 a year. And then for our biggest institutions, it's $1725 or seven. And so I think I would expect you, your members to maybe be in the middle, somewhere in the middle, but I can,
I think we're all between like 1,200 and 8,000 FTE.
yeah, here, it's based on the library budget. And so it's like if
That's
you're
right.
yeah, haha, which is a
Got it.
little more equitable. Where is it? Here it is. I'll send yeah, so if you're like under $1 million, it's good. But if not, here, I'll put it in the chat. Yay, yeah, way under. So and you can self-certify. It's like we don't, we're not like trying to check on people. So you tell us what tier you are and we can make it happen. So yeah.
Hey, Vanessa, this is Abby. I'm at Whatcom Community College. We are one of the groups that's Waldo that's going to be likely moving over to Lyrasis. I think we got some outreach from Teddy Gray. And so I'm really grateful that you're here. Who do we pursue further conversations? I think I'm really glad that you posted the pricing publicly. It seems really comparable. We're wanting to know what we can expect in the next couple of years, but is that you or is that Teddy?
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, I think Teddy's been covering all of Waldo, but since you're in the West, you're mine. So
Yay. Thanks very
Yay.
much. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, in terms of pricing, I literally don't think there has been an increase in like the last 10 years. And it will not go up in the next, definitely this year is not going to go up. I wouldn't expect it to go up at all. I'm not gonna say ever, but I'm pretty confident we're holding firm just in terms of like, it's the only inflation proof thing you can have in this world. Lyrasis. So yeah, cool. I'm excited. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'll put that in my slides anyway, and then I'll send my slides to Carly so that you can see everything, and then it'll just be in one place. And I'll get some more information on Palace, Project Muse, and anything else. If you think of anything else, just feel free to ping me or Carly.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about the open access work that Lyrasis does and the partnerships that you guys have, because that's definitely not someplace where I have capacity to
Who
help
does?
out, and yet with such limited budgets, I know many of us are, activating every single open access collection we can find, and but just trying to get that content like in front of faculty and students and like not have it be difficult. So
Yeah. We have a lot of like prepackaged stuff that you can just activate in your knowledge base. It's just, I really love everything that Lyrasis does. It's nice to have your mission literally aligned with libraries and not have to like pretend that you are. Because I've worked at nonprofits and for profits, and it's totally fine. Everyone has to be sustainable, but it feels good to be working at Lyrasis. So yeah. Also, maybe I'll send a little more on OA too. I'll flesh out a slide just for my own, and it'll be like I'm always trying to improve the deck. OA. We have a good. We've been working with Knowledge Unlatched, and so every year, librarians identify titles that they want to flip to be open access. And then once they hit their funding target, then those titles become available to everyone. So it's fun. And then there's like loads of projects that we work with that are like that. So yeah.
okay. Well, sounds like there's a lot of cool info that we can disseminate for deeper dives. And it might even be worth a follow-up potentially with more formally interested institutions at a later date. But if anyone else has any more questions, so we can, get it recorded in case it's of use to folks who are not here, now's your chance before we kind of wrap it up.
No pressure. Pressure.
Okay.